Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Sunday Summary. I am your host, Kyle. With me is Steve. Steve, I'm going to jump right into this because we actually do have a big list of things to get into today. So, number one on the list, all right, let's take a look at these new kits, okay? But we were just talking beforehand, so sharing the screen here. It doesn't show the home kit, but all right, so you see the orange and black one here, and then the gray one. And then let me see if they have the rumored home kit. Okay, so you see it here. This is a pretty crappy picture, but you can see it's just basic compared to the Adidas. Is that blurry for you? No.
Not really.
Okay.
It's fine.
So, I mean, honestly, I'm a big fan of the teal third kit, Adidas, mainly because it has the 3-leaf Adidas logo. I love that logo. And it has the retro Liverpool one. But I wanted to pull the side by side because I didn't even see the leaked Nike kits until like 5 minutes before I came on. They're awful. I mean, this is bad.
Can you
this
zoom
one's-
in on the red Nike?
Oh, this is really blurry. Hold on. Let me see. Oh, it's going to bring
I
me to
just
Instagram.
can't tell if there's like blotches of other darker colors on it or
Here we
not.
go. This is better. I'm going to not share that. And then let me share.
Good morning to everybody in the chat, by the way. 9 folks in here. That'll climb.
Ooh, where are we at? Okay. All right. Is that a little better for you?
Yeah, can you just like pinch and zoom or no?
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
It does
I
look
can't
like it
tell
has
if
a
that's
little
like
something. Like, because you can see
it could just be
the
the light.
sideline. Like, this is a definitive line right here. And it's like
I don't hate that.
I don't hate the
I
home
think that's
one.
fine.
I don't hate the gray one per se. It's just bland. But this to me looks like 2005 awful. Just terrible. And the logo being in the middle, I hate that.
Yeah, I mean the third kit's kind of obviously not great.
Oh, it's
The away
trash.
kit is very boring. I just think gray, because the shorts would probably be gray too,
I like
or maybe
gray.
black. Yeah, it's okay, but that's a really boring gray. Like they
Yeah.
could have thrown some like shiny stuff somewhere on that. The red is fine as far as I'm concerned, but these Adidas ones are cool.
The Adidas ones, it's retro but modern at the same time. Home kit, big fan. I like it. Um, I like I don't know. I love white and red in the home kit. When they try to put the other color, like they did this, when they put the gold in it, I don't like the gold. When they put, I don't even remember them. I got so much shit for not saying the correct color back when we came out with those lightning orange stripes. Everyone's like, they're this color. I'm like,
Crimson.
okay, they're crimson. I'm like, relax.
I
All right.
remember that show vividly. We were in here, and I was like, guys, what is this color? And Doug chimed in and was like, crimson. Of course, Doug knows.
Doug's on it. But Doug wasn't the one giving me a hard time. It was like
I
random
loved those
people.
kids.
They're like, I'm not a big
I
fan of it.
absolutely loved those kids
I'm a
too.
classic like white and red. Now, again, kids grow on you. When I go back and I watch, you know, different kits, I'm like, oh, those are good kits. These past year's kits, probably one of my least favorites of all time. Hated them. I think it was the collar didn't do it for me. But this,
People
man,
are saying these away kits look like United kits, kind of.
I can understand that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can
The
definitely
third kit's
understand
nice
people saying
though.
that. Third kit, definitely nice. Big fan. That's one I would definitely get. Retro badge, retro Adidas logo. But yeah, these definitely do kind of look like United kits. But I nothing bad to say. I think Adidas knocked it out of the park. Not so much with Nike. And to be honest with you, man, I mean, if we're looking at it from like comparing Nike to New Balance to Adidas, Nike had a couple good years, but really, I expected more from Nike. When that Nike deal was announced, dude, I was like, these kits are going to be exceptional because the Nike kits at the time were really, really good. And I don't know, they changed up their collar, they changed up their design because you know how they do. Most manufacturers will have a base design, whether it's the collar or the um, elastic around the sleeves or whatever, and then they just fix it to each team. And I don't know, I wasn't a huge fan of Nike. I wasn't.
I think they had some good kits. People are bashing Nike, and it's like at the end of the day, a lot, especially the home kits, like they just you get used to them.
Well, yeah,
You
you
see the
get used
guys
to them.
wearing the red all year, and it's like you just stop caring like
Well,
what it is.
yeah, I mean, you do stop caring at a certain point. But I think what bothers me the most is I look at these kits and I'm like, dude, if I sat down in front of a computer and just started messing around with designs, I feel like I could come up with a better design.
Yeah, that's the thing. They spend a
That's what
year
bothers
on
me.
these, and they're so basic. And you
Right.
say Adidas knocked it out of the park. It's like I don't know if I agree with that. They're just so basic, but
No,
it's fine. It's completely fine. But they're just like, you guys spent time on that? Like, that's the big reveal?
well, look, I get what you're saying, 100%. It's basic, but wouldn't I'd rather them go basic than try something against the grain and it's just bad. So you can't go wrong with, all right, we're going to make the home kit red. Obviously, we're going to make the away kit white with some black and red trim. And then the third one, which I think we needed to do more of, because in the past, the third one is like, we had purple one year. We had, what did we have one year? We had like a yellow kit. And I'm trying to think of the ones. I think they need to utilize that teal, that green way more because I love that color, that accent in the crest. And when they do that, I love it. When Nike did that one year, I didn't like the design. They went overboard with it. They tried to do too much, and that's kind of the point I'm getting at. You can't go wrong with just using the team's color and making it a solid kit. It doesn't have to be fancy, but as long as it's not ugly, you know what I mean? Like you said, you have a
Yeah.
year to design it. You have a year to design it.
Yeah, like they're probably already working on next year's. Like, I don't know. Maybe not. But like, if I were to go into Photoshop and I had a blank canvas of a kit and I chose Liverpool red, white trim, the brand, the logo, and just clicked stock photo or whatever, like it would spit out this Adidas kit.
Fair.
Standard Chartered, Adidas, Liverpool. Like
But
it's so
classic.
basic, but
But
it's fine. But it's
that's
fine.
all it is. That's all Liverpool is.
It's
It's a
fine.
basic
Yep.
red kit. If you want to throw some different designs in there from year to year, maybe like a little, I don't know, like a little texture, that's fine. I'm all for that, but we'll see. I think it is just a basic red though. And Liz says Adidas wanted a classic kit. So that's what we got. Moving forward, wait, oh, I didn't update this. Hold on, let me change this. Oh God. I saved it. I just didn't upload it. The agenda for today. So I was like, wait a minute, Luis Diaz is already at Bayern. It should say Tyler
Was this from
Morton.
last week?
That's from last week. Um, there we go. So Tyler Morton, I didn't see this one coming at all. Tyler Morton agreed a deal with Lyon, 15 million pounds, making the move over there.
I actually
Seal.
didn't see that. When was this?
This is like this morning. I saw.
Oh,
Um, but it's one of those transfers that no one really cares about. It's Fabrizio Romano reports it, but he's not like a here we go. It's just like Tyler Morton agrees deal. Let me move on to the next thing. So Tyler Morton, 15 million. Um, I have really nothing to say. I think it seems like Liverpool do this, dude. It seems like we have players that could potentially break in, but as soon as they're worth anything significant, we sell them, which is honestly a good business strategy, if you ask me.
he was never going to break in, dude. Not first team Premier League or Champions League. Cup games, sure. But like 15 mil is nice. It's a nice little chunk. Oyvind
Yeah,
here says the Isak fund is getting bigger. And it's like, yeah, let's keep selling some of these fringe guys because the window is a success, obviously.
100%.
But as far as, and we'll talk about Isak today, but as far as that goes, it's really, I think a big part of it is Sesko and whoever else Newcastle might be bidding for to play striker forward because they're not going to sell Isak until they get a replacement. That's a fact.
Well, let's touch on that because I haven't seen anything with Sesko linked to Newcastle. Are you seeing that? I'm seeing it with
They already
United.
bid.
Newcastle
No, they
did.
already bid. Yes, and Manchester United informed Leipzig once we are going to bid after Newcastle does, and Newcastle bid. And yesterday, Fabrizio Romano reported that he will make his decision soon. Yesterday, Manchester United said that they will send an official bid after Newcastle's bid if Sesko opens the door to a Manchester United move. He's going to make a decision, I think, like today.
I
And
think
if I was him,
I'd go to Newcastle. If I were him, I'd go to Newcastle. You do not want to go
yes,
to United.
right. But like these guys have ego, they have confidence in themselves. And you look at guys like Xerxes, Hoyland, these other guys they've tried to bring in for striker that just haven't cut it.
That's my point.
Right? Like they had Ronaldo, Cavani, like all of these guys, like here for a little bit or here and they flop. It's like Sesko probably truly believes that he can be the guy. And if I was, let's just say I was like a neutral player, right? I didn't have like allegiances or like whatever.
Yeah.
I might choose United over Newcastle. Even though it's kind of a dumpster fire, it's still Manchester United. And they still need a striker. They need a striker for the next 5 to 7 years. They have nothing.
They
So
don't.
Newcastle has money. Newcastle's fighting for trophies. You know, the cups. They're winning trophies. You could slot in there and become a Newcastle legend, or you could go to United. And if you kill it at United for a couple of years, you could end up somewhere else. You could end up at Madrid. You don't know what his long-term dreams are, and like what the pay is going to be. But they
How old
both
is he?
can pay decent wages.
How old is Sesko?
Um, let's see.
Seski. I didn't type Seski. I typed
If
Sesko.
he's a 20, 25 goal per season player, like they
All
say
right.
he is,
He's 22
he
years
could.
old. All right. 22 years old. And
He just turned 22,
yeah,
like
and
6 weeks ago.
6'5". Here's the problem, dude. Let's look at United. Okay, like you had mentioned, Xerxes, Hoyland. By the way, which I haven't been keeping up with ever since FIFA went to EA, like EAFC or whatever. I haven't been keeping up with it, but apparently Hoyland's like a 65 rated silver card. I don't know what the silver card means, but I saw 65
No.
rated. I said, "Holy crap!" What? And apparently he's
Let me see.
suing. I don't know, something crazy like that. Um,
The
yeah,
EAFC
6'5".
25, he was a 78 overall gold.
And then look up the 26 one. I saw it. It
It's
could
not
have
out
been
yet, it
someone
says.
trolling. All right, then I just keep getting pulled into these
Oh, wait,
trolls.
biggest rating downgrades. This is showing him
Bingo. 65.
74 silver, maybe?
Damn it. I saw 65 silver.
Either way, silver's trash.
Well, look, apparently he's suing for it. But my point being is United, I think I think United's scouting department is just dog shit. I think first off, they haven't had the pull they've had in a long time, probably a decade or so. And even though they do get some quality players, like you can't argue that they get some decent players. Like at the time, getting Anthony to come over is a great move, right? Getting Casemiro, great move. Convincing Sancho to come, great move. But what happens when they get to the club? They flop, right? You can argue it's too early to say Xerxes and Hoyland have flopped, but I mean, there is a problem. I've said it for years, dude. There's just a cultural problem. So going back to my Sesko point, why would you want, aside from, like you said, maybe he wants to go to United for more wages, or maybe he thinks he can change it. Look, you're not the guy. You're not that guy, pal. You're not going to save United. Everyone wants to save somebody. All right. If you're smart, go to Newcastle. You have a great manager. You have a solid team that has a decent culture, or at least that they're trying to develop. And you're actually on the up and up. United just had one of their worst seasons ever. I mean, for me, the choice is clear.
The problem with Newcastle is all of their best players are getting sold. They're just gonna, like, Gordon's only, it's only a matter of time before he moves somewhere. What's his face went to Juventus?
Who?
Luis? No, he wasn't at Newcastle. Who am I thinking of?
Douglas Luiz was at Villa.
Isak's going. Who else is there?
I'm trying to think of who's getting sold to these big clubs, bro. I think it's just Isak.
Who's in the lineup is what I'm trying to get at. Forget what I said about being sold, because I can't think of that right now. But like, if you go to United, you can at least play with some really good players.
All right. So for me, going back to what we were talking about with Isak being sold and them going for Sesko, do I think Sesko chooses Newcastle United? No. I think he ends up going to Man United. And then we can just continue to laugh at Man United's problems with buying positions they need, because it's just terrible. I mean, the amount of strikers they've bought is laughable, and they can't get one to stick. Now, I can't really talk too because Darwin didn't stick, but Oyvind says worst case, he gets a huge payday. Best case, he still gets the money and gets to be the hero. Okay, fair enough.
And I think that's the case at either club, because Newcastle obviously have money. But we want him to go to Newcastle so that the Isak deal is easier. Because we're in August now.
Yep.
Something's got to give here. But I believe, and this is my insider information, I have a lot of personal ties to the Magpies.
Yes, you do.
He's going to make a decision today or tomorrow. That's what
Isak or Sesko?
Sesko.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And if he chooses United, then we're back to square one, because Newcastle's got to find somebody else. I don't know who else Newcastle's in for.
Honestly, doesn't even matter. And I know someone in here had said that it's tough for these mid-table. You can't really classify as a mid-table, but it's tough for teams like Villa and Newcastle to sign people right now. But I want to go over to the chat and say good morning to everyone that's coming here. Alexi saying Steve's the GOAT. What's up? Lyle, Liz, Hannah. What's going on, everyone? Tony over in Italy. Shout out to Tony. Mira, what's going on? How you doing? Red Choppy, what's going on? Yeah, some people we haven't seen here in a while. Shout out to everyone. Thanks for being here. Make sure you slap that like button. Red Choppy here says if Isak stays, Sesko goes United. If Isak goes, he goes to Newcastle. Okay. So let's wait on Isak a little bit. We did talk about Isak, but let's talk about Darwin. So those negotiations are open again with Al-Hilal. No information on figures has been presented as of yet. But I honestly always knew he was going to probably end up in Saudi, because it's the only league that'll give us what we're asking for. And honestly, man, doesn't it just seem like he's a Saudi guy? Doesn't it just
Isn't
seem
that where
that
Bobby
way?
was until he just transferred somewhere else? All right, so
He's
still in Bobby's shoes.
I think Bobby transferred to another team, but I think he's still in the Saudi league.
No, he is.
Yeah.
He's a legend. He's an absolute legend. We can't.
He looks younger now. He's looking like he's like 25.
He's spry. Nunez is perfect for it's a win-win.
It is.
For everyone but Darwin. Because we're gonna get paid more than he's worth from them. What are the bids? Like what's the price right now?
I'm gonna guess somewhere between like 60 and 70.
And he'll get paid a good amount. He'll get paid a ton.
He'll
If
get
he can
paid
have a
a
good year
ton.
or two, he can always come back. He's young enough where he can always come back.
Yep.
I could see him ending up in Serie A. Have fun.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that. Syria. That'd be interesting. An interesting point here, um, from Oyvind saying, let's just give Newcastle Darwin.
He killed them many times.
He did. He did. Damn. I don't know, man.
Did you see the girl, the woman, the winning penalty? Maybe an England player, English, I don't forget. Her winning penalty or something. Her shot, the speed of her shot was higher than the fastest Premier League men's shot last year, which was the Isak goal against us. This girl kicked it like 111 kilometers per hour or something.
Damn.
And it was a more powerful shot than every single shot in the men's Premier League last year. Just a
Interesting.
side note. Yeah.
Interesting.
Forget her name. You guys would know in the chat. Let us know who is that.
Thanks for the fun
But yeah.
facts.
Yeah, fun fact. I mean, I got ties all over.
You got ties to the Magpies. You got ties to the
Ties to the
women's
Magpies.
leagues.
Ties to
Steve's
the Magpies.
ties to the Magpies. Oh my God.
Okay, so you heard it here first. If Newcastle gets Sesko, we get Isak. If United get Sesko, we're back to square one. That's what I believe is the case. I do believe Isak will come in. It's obviously better to get him sooner than later. Maybe we just up the bid. Bid 140. Who cares?
Well,
At
that's
this point, there's a desire from both sides to get it done. And it's like, in the grand, you don't want to be stupid, but in the grand scheme of things, like you just sold Morton. Why don't you send another bid for 135? Just up it by 15. See what happens.
well, let's chat about the situation going on with Isak. You have Isak, and this is actually a really interesting point of concern for me because in the past, and bear with me here because I'm going to go on a little bit of a tangent, but it's going to come back. In the past, if we've had players that have sat out training or tried to force a move, it looks bad. It's bad taste. It's unprofessional, especially like Coutinho, perfect example. We're like, that you suck, right? When the roles are reversed, you got Isak, who's refusing to show up to Newcastle training, who's going to train with his old club, all that stuff. But we're sitting here like, good, make him force the move, right? So when the shoe's on the other foot, we're kind of hypocritical. However, right? I'm going to be honest with you. I don't like that. When I think about that, I don't like that he's doing that. Am I wrong in saying that? Even if it's trying to force a move here, I really, really do not like that he's being that unprofessional. Am I wrong?
Not necessarily, but I don't think it was just like him being an a-hole. You know? I think part of it was like they were going on tour or something, and it was like he could move. So like let's keep him here. And I don't know. I think it was a little bit from both sides. I mean, clearly nobody has said that he's got like a crazy ego or he's like freaking out to push his way out the door. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't look great, but that's what you got to do. Sometimes that's what you got to do. He's going to be 26 in 6 weeks. Like his next move is the most important move of his life.
So you think that the media is spinning it when in reality he's probably just staying because he doesn't, in case the transfer goes through, kind of thing.
I think it's probably a combination of everything. Because I haven't read any stories that say that he's being super difficult or he's going against Eddie Howe's wishes and this, that, and the other thing. I haven't read anything like super negative regarding him. So maybe it was like a joint decision. Plus, apparently he was battling a knock or something. Maybe it was like some sort of a joint decision where they were like, "Hey, train on your own" or whatever. Um, but we've seen it way worse than this, where players are like vocal in the media
Yeah.
holding out, like especially right now, Micah Parsons with the Dallas Cowboys. He's like requesting a trade because they
Mhm.
won't pay him enough. And it's like it can be way worse. So I don't love it. I agree with you, but I don't think it's as bad as it could be.
It could always be worse. I think my main issue is this happens. I'm not saying it's an isolated situation to Isak. It happens. Players force these moves I, but the formal process I feel like should be, and I know it isn't always like this because if you want it now, especially with there being transfer windows, you need to like make it a problem for your club. But at the end of the day, and I mean, I think you have to consider all these factors like his age and, you know, the fact that if Liverpool don't get certain players, sometimes they just move on. I get all that. And so maybe there's information being told to him behind the scenes, yada yada. I just don't like how it's being handled. That's it. I just don't like how it's being handled. I want you to be professional. I want you to submit a transfer request, continue to play for your team. If it doesn't happen in this window, maybe I'm being naive. Maybe I'm just being way too naive and like, oh, everyone should be professional, but maybe that's just not how it is. Liz says the thigh issue wasn't real.
Yeah, I've heard that it was phony.
Look, I know it's transfer poker. I know players do this. I know it's commonplace. But just because it's commonplace doesn't mean it's right. Even with sports, it's really bad. I feel like it's just not good in sports. Dustin says I kind of agree. I wanted him to force a move, not go over the top. So I'm happy he's back to training. Nito says, let's be honest, guys. And I'm waiting for the follow-up to that. The Diaz model is what it should be. And this is what I think too. I like let's take Luis Diaz. This is actually a really good point, Chavi, here. You have Diaz who has always said he's open. He doesn't know what the future holds. There's been links with him for like 3 years for a move, bro. And he's never come out in the media and talked about it. He's probably just behind the scenes just said, hey, I'm open to a move. Right? If you guys get a good bid for me, I'm happy to go. Just run it by me first. It's all it takes. Right? And then the club either says, okay, we're open to that, or we don't want to sell you. Right? But he's just leaving the door open. Whereas Isak is like forcing Newcastle's hand, which honestly, they're not obligated to sell him. They have him under contract. They are not obligated to sell him. But when you create these problems in the dressing room, then you run the risk of a lack of trust in the team and all this stuff. So I get that side of it. I just don't like the lack of professionalism, dude.
Rumor has it he's already agreed terms, personal terms with us.
Sure. Yeah. Also, another thing, I don't want to forget about this. Konate. All right. Just to bring Konate up. I didn't have him on the agenda for today, but I want to talk about this. So he's under contract for another year. There are rules against tampering or discussing transfers with a player when they're under contract, correct?
In some instances, yeah, there's definitely rules. I don't know the rules, and I think there's certain times where you can open talks. Um, yeah,
It has to be cleared by both clubs, from my understanding. Like maybe a bid is submitted, and if the bid is accepted while they're under contract or something, or maybe not if the bid is accepted, maybe you inquire about the availability of someone, and if they're available and the club clears it, then you go through the agent and that sort of thing. But there is a process in place. What has happened with Trent and Konate, I started thinking about this. Madrid got to these players while they were still under contract, but how? Okay,
probably the player talking.
but Madrid saying, "Oh, you're going to join on our terms," kind of thing. Trent ran down his contract. He didn't say sell me. Right? He was quiet. He waited until the end of his contract and he's like, I'm leaving. Konate looks like he's about to do the same thing. So it's almost as if they know, hey, I can't join Madrid because Madrid don't want to spend money. so I have to run my contract down. To me, that seems like tampering. They already know what Madrid want. It just seems weird to me that Madrid can not force, but they have this power to make the players run their contract down. Liz says it's acceptable during transfer windows.
Yes, this is correct. I knew this actually. And that makes sense. That's
Sure.
why we're hearing about the Konate stuff now. I haven't looked into the Konate stuff, but I heard we were going to improve our offer.
So that was the last I heard as well. And then this morning, and again, this is just all BS stuff that I see online, but it said Madrid had proposed a situation to Liverpool saying you either accept right now 20 to 25 for Konate, which is an absurd value, or you lose him on a free. Doubt it's true because we haven't seen anything about Madrid submitting a bid for Konate. But it just got me thinking, like, what is going on? Like, think about the power Madrid must have to be able to convince players, hey, run your contract down. That's wild, Steve.
It's the players, dude. The players are the problem here. I don't blame Madrid for doing that. Like, if you can do that, do that.
It's smart, yeah.
It's a business, and it's like, yeah, I hate the fact that they do that, but if we could do that, I'd be like, yeah, do it. But the players seem like the snakes here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know, man. The
No,
Trent
go,
thing, it's
go.
over with. The Trent
Yeah.
thing, it's over with. But it's just kind of grimy, dude. Like, you could have. I don't want to open this can of worms, but we could have sold Trent for like 120 million.
Right. So
He's a world-class talent.
right, and he didn't open that door to Liverpool saying, "Hey, I want to move at the end of this contract. You can sell me." And maybe he did, and Liverpool were like, "We're not selling you." So that's always an option. But I also think it's on him to communicate, like, I'm not signing a new contract with you. So you can either sell me or lose me on a free. And then it's up to Liverpool, hey, we're not going to sell you. You can just leave on a free kind of thing. But you're right. I think it's grimy on the player's part, which brings me back to the Isak thing. If it turns out that he's not going into training because he's trying to force the move, that's grimy to me. But it's also grimy on the other side of it that you don't communicate with the club that you want to go and then you lose them on a free. So there's got to be a middle ground somewhere. I don't
know if there is.
What would you do? What would you do if you really wanted to move? You're under contract. You just signed a brand new deal. Let's say you're on a 4-year contract with, I don't know, Preston North End, right? And you're trying to get a move to Liverpool, okay? But remember, you're under contract. Really though, what would you do?
Hand in a transfer request.
Exactly.
And tell them it's your choice.
Exactly.
But like, I want to leave.
Right. And so, hypothetical, right? You do the right thing. That's the formal process. You hand that in and say they don't honor it, right? Because they don't have to. You're under contract. How are you feeling? And then what's your next course of action after that? Honestly, take a second and think about it.
It's really like the only sport or the only profession where you can't decide when you come and go from a job. They probably feel like, hey, like, I can do what I want. But the contract thing is like, it's an agreement and you have to stick to the agreement. But think about it, Kyle. If you didn't like your job, you could just go find another one.
Right. And I could search.
Don't have that ability. It always gets a little choppy. Plus, the media twists everything.
Everything.
Who knows what's actually happening behind the scenes? I think the situation with Trent's pretty clear. What happened? He made this decision a long time ago, and he kept it in his back pocket so that he could get a free effing transfer to Real Madrid in the prime of his career, or 10 million or whatever, to go a few months early and just become another name on the team sheet. Like, that's grimy shit for your boyhood club. The Isak thing isn't bad at all. Like, this is normal stuff.
Right, it's normal. But that doesn't, in my opinion, doesn't make it right. And so you personally, I know you can just pretend you hand in the transfer request, they didn't honor it. How do you handle that situation at Preston North End?
You go back and try again. You keep trying. You don't stop.
You keep handing in transfer requests, right? But in the meantime, what do? Do you put in shit effort or do you go out and you ball out? Because you know, hey, if I don't ball out, Liverpool might not want me anymore.
No, I think you end up balling out regardless of what happens on the road to get to that point. If he doesn't move this summer, he's still going to play well for Newcastle this year. And he's not burning bridges, as far as I can tell. If you do burn bridges, though, I mean, here's the thing. He has the power. Like, he can't not be played. He's getting paid over 150K a week. He's their best player. If he's available, you have to play him. Like, it's not something where Eddie Howe can be like, you've been a headache the last couple months. We're not going to start you. It's like, okay, then you're going to lose. And then your job comes on the line, you know?
That's politics.
He's got the power. Even though he's under contract, he has the power to make things very difficult for his club. We're not there yet, but
this is my ultimate point here from Nito. How do you justify Isak's behavior and condemn Trent in the same breath? Now, I don't think he was implying you did that because I didn't hear that. But this is kind of my point, is like what Trent did, I think it was more of an emotional hit to fans than it was actually objectively bad. Like, it was slimy, sure, but that's why I have a problem with what Isak's doing. Like, how this guy, if it's true, because you said the media twists things, so let's just assume that it's actually him sitting out and trying to force the team to be annoyed with him and sell him, right? It also gives Newcastle less power, which works in Liverpool's favor because they can basically say, look, this player doesn't even want to play for you. You got to accept this bid or, whatever. So it gives them a little more power. How can we be okay with that as fans and then be upset when our own player does it, right? So, again, I'm just being objective here because I was upset with what Trent did too. Deep down, I'm not really bothered with what Isak is doing, but I'm just looking at it like that's kind of slimy. Like that's just where
I
I'm
can
at.
answer this question. How do I justify Isak's behavior and condemn Trent's? Because they're not even close to the same thing. Isak has no ties to Newcastle. He's been there like what, a couple years? He didn't grow up. He didn't play for the club for 20 years. He didn't keep his mouth shut so he could get a free move. Like, Newcastle are going to benefit from this deal. They are going to shatter records with this deal. And you can't blame Isak for wanting to go from Newcastle to Liverpool. You can, however, blame Trent from leaving his boyhood club, who just won the Premier League, and he didn't play great, to go to a rival for free. It's not the same thing. It's not even close.
Excellent point. Excellent point. The Scouser leaving on a free, totally get it. Totally get it.
And we just won the league.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you could argue it's not an upgrade, depending on how you look at it.
That's what I was going to say. There's so many different ways to look at it, which makes it so interesting. Like, we have several different opinions in the chat right now. You have Nito Nova, which is presenting the question. I love the question. Hannah saying he's also still in contract. Tofu saying we aren't Newcastle fans, so we have no obligation to criticize Isak. All of these things are valid. Oyvind saying it's completely different. Saying Trent did this behind our back. Isak is honest. Newcastle will get 150. It's not the same at all. Right. It's not the same, but there are similarities in how it's being handled. It's just interesting to me because every comment section on this, and again, you can't summarize a whole fan base from Twitter, but all the comment sections on Twitter are suggesting that Liverpool fans are hypocrites because of how they're reacting to the Isak situation. It's just an interesting talking point. And it begs the question, like, is it the right thing to do regardless of what team it is? Like forcing the transfer as opposed to handing in a transfer request. And by the way, you never answered the question about what you do at Preston North End.
What do you mean if they didn't honor it?
Oh, you said keep handing in transfer requests. Okay.
Yeah, I would say I would just keep trying. Just don't let up. You got to
Just
push for the move.
every year transfer or every week transfer request.
Yeah, you just got to sit down with your agent and the board and the manager and just tell them like this is my life. Somebody earlier in the chat said my life, my dream move, my life, my choice. Like
It's a great point. Yeah.
it is, and it's like if you want to leave, you're entitled to ask.
Yep.
Eddie Howe said he's not coming on tour with us. He didn't say, "Man, I really wish he would, but he's being a headache and he's not coming." He just said, "There's no chance he's coming on tour with us." This was like a week ago.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an open transfer window. Talks are allowed to be held per Liz. She's right. And like Manchester United inquired. Chelsea inquired. Saudi inquired. He chose Liverpool. That's where he wants to go. I don't really care. I mean, I don't really. There's nothing bad here. There's nothing bad going on here. This isn't like a. There's only a saga because he's so expensive. Like, and because he's not traveling with the team.
Mm-hmm.
But like he's returning to training now. He's not like holding out all summer, coming out in the media and saying things, tweeting things. We've seen Darwin do that. We've seen Darwin tweet weird, mysterious stuff.
Yeah.
In the middle of a season.
That is a different line though. You're right. When they come out and independently on their own do stuff and have to delete tweets, I completely agree with that. I'm just very fascinated with the chat right now. And again, Nito, I get your point, but the total difference is none of the players you listed are Scouser boyhood players for the club. None of them. Completely different. And
none of them were in their prime.
None of them were in their prime.
Anything.
None of them went to a rival club. So that's the difference. But I do like that take, Liz. I did see that Milner taking the number 20. Absolutely love that. I mean, he's just absolute legend. Oyvind, there are still better and worse ways to handle things. Trent was learning Spanish while avoiding interviews. Okay.
This is nothing bad or new going on here, Mr. Watt. Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah. I just
it's because the only reason it's big news is because we are so invested in Liverpool and because the transfer fee is going to be astronomical and Newcastle don't want to sell.
Right.
But it's not because Alexander Isak is an a-hole. It's not.
I think there's and frankly, I probably haven't even looked into this as much as I should have. I've seen a couple headlines and I've formed this opinion. And he's probably doing nothing wrong. Really. He's probably not training with them because he wasn't brought on tour. And he's just staying fit. And he's just refusing contract talks. And the media's running with it. Need Milner as part of the coach. Well, there were talks of that actually before he went to Brighton that he may join the management team. I think he will. I think he'd be perfect for that. Maybe as like a youth academy player or something like that.
Also, don't forget, last thing on Isak, we've been linked with him for like 3 months. This isn't new.
Yeah. But I think it's legit now because we're submitting bids. And someone said it here. Rival fans. Oh, Liz said it. Rival fans are furious about how much money we have. It's just been a remarkable transfer window. I think just to circle back to this, the fact that you go for Hugo and you're going for Isak, I didn't see that coming at all. And when you look back, bro, and you see we kind of did Newcastle dirty because his agent was like in Newcastle trying to negotiate a deal. And Liverpool just said, nah, came in and got him. And I kind of love that. It's kind of sneaky. And But the problem still at center back still remains. We didn't touch on that at all, but the problem with center back still remains. It keeps me up at night. Why do we have Van Dijk and Gomez? Am I missing anybody? Konate. That's right. It's not enough, Steve.
It's definitely not enough.
But I don't know of anybody. I don't know of anybody.
On it.
We'll see.
So let's end it. The Diaz move cancels out the fees for Frimpong and Kirkesh, thereabouts.
Yeah.
So then you have Verts and Hugo. What's that combined? 230?
Say that again?
The Verts.
Yep.
All right. So Frimpong, Kirkesh, the Luis Diaz sale cancels out those fees.
Ish.
Okay. Jarrell Kwanzaa, 40.
35.
Right?
35.
Okay, whatever.
30, 35.
Morton, 15. That's another 50 mil.
Yeah.
You add Darwin, whatever he'll go for. That'll cancel out probably Hugo. Am I missing anybody that we've sold?
Morton. No, I don't think so. Kwanzaa.
Okay. So
Morton. Oh,
really,
Kelleher.
Okay. Even better.
I think that's it.
So our net spend, I don't know what the net spend is, but once Darwin goes, and we'll say maybe Elliott, whoever else they might sell, trimming the fat from the squad, it's not going to be anything crazy if the window ended without Isak.
Mm-hmm.
If Isak comes in, that obviously inflates the numbers, but the net spend is not going to look that bad once Darwin goes.
I actually thought
it's going to be fine.
It's going to be crazy. It's actually going to be crazy because let's add everything up. So let's say 120. It's going to be
like 160 million negative net spend. 150 million negative net spend if Darwin goes for like 60 million. That's what I think.
So let's just add. So Frimpong was what, 30? Kirkesh was 40, so that's 70. And then you got 120 for Verts, right? 116, whatever it ends up being. So let's just call that 200, right? And then you got Hugo, that's 250.
No, so 290. Hugo was like 90 mil.
Hugo was 90?
Mm-hmm.
Did I miss something? Holy crap. I thought he was like 55. Okay. Wow. 90? I completely missed that. Okay. So what, 250? No. Okay, let's call it 300. Call an even 300. You got Diaz for what, 70? It was like 63 plus add-ons or something like that. Okay. Mm-hmm. And then you have Kelleher
for 40. So now we're at 110.
Total 110. Okay. And
Morton
then
for 15. So now we're at 125.
And then Kelleher for what, 12 or 15, whatever we sold him for.
Yep. So we'll call it 140.
Yep. So that's 150. And then say you sell Darwin, we'll just be in conservative. We'll say 100. I mean, that's a wild numbers. When you think
Darwin, let's just say Darwin conservative, we'll sell it for 50. So now we're at 200 spend, 300 spend, 200 sold.
So that's
your net spend's
100. That's crazy.
I actually believe we could probably find a website that will just tell us what our net spend is.
Right, I know. But I like doing the math.
Mm-hmm.
Liz said we had a 500 million war chest, bro. And if we come out of this only using 100 of it, oh, that's wild. Absolutely wild.
Okay, here we go.
What do we got?
We spent so we were close. We've spent 293.
Look at that.
Yep.
We don't need a website.
Frimpong. Hugo was 80. Verts 125. This is a different currency, though. I'm not good with the currencies.
I hate when they change the currencies. Kelleher, Morton, Kwanzaa. Yeah, no,
I'm just trying to see this.
Diaz.
Here we go. Yeah. Diaz 70, Kwanzaa 35, Kelleher 15, Trent 10 million. Forgot about him.
Oh,
Nat Phillips 3.5.
Forgotten that. Oh man.
Tyler Morton. So we've sold. So according to this, we've sold 133. Morton's not in there, so we'll call it 148. Call it 150. We were spot on. We've sold 150 worth. We've spent 300. Once Darwin goes, our net spend will be less than 100 million.
We don't need
And then
a
you bring in
website.
Isak, that'll go up to, we'll call it 230. 230 net spend.
It's pretty wild.
It's not awful when you
No.
consider Man United just spent 150 on Mbuemo and Cunha.
Yeah, that's wild. But the thing is, the difference is they can't sell anybody. Like, the values of the players they get don't go up. This is just
I know. It's crazy.
they don't go up, Steve. Every
Except
player,
for guys like
like if they sold Bruno, they'd make a profit. If they sold,
I think they spent a lot for him, dude.
I mean,
And he's
they did.
older now.
Well, he's older now, but you get what I'm saying. Like, if we're talking just from who they bought to now, the value went up. But if you look at the players they brought in, none of them went up in value. Antony, Sancho, DeLitt. You think DeLitt's higher? Casemiro? No. Xerxes, Hoyland. I mean, but when you look at
their values have
just
plummeted.
Now, the only players they could sell at a profit would be their academy. Menu, Diallo. But look, Wan-Bissaka, no. Who else did they get? I mean, Diogo Dalot.
Lenny Yoro, they might be able to sell for like a little bit of a profit. He's only been there a little bit, but
dude, he played one game and tore his Achilles. I mean, what is he worth now?
I don't think he tore his Achilles.
Or he tore something
hamstring in the first match or something.
I don't know what he did. I really don't. I'm just making stuff up, and it's just crazy to me. But that's bad business. That's bad business, and that just, if you buy players and their value goes down, what are you doing? What are you doing?
I think if we sell Darwin and Elliott and get Isak and a center back, this is the greatest transfer window in the history of the sport for any club.
I agree. I'll put it down right now. Take it to the bank. It's the best transfer window. 100%.
I hope. I mean, only time will tell how these players turn out, but chances are they're going to be pretty damn good.
Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better myself. Thanks to the chat, Steve. What are your closing thoughts, man?
I am curious to see what happens with Sesko today or tomorrow. My ties with the Magpies tell me if something's happening soon. If he goes to Newcastle, I think we'll get Isak by Wednesday. If he doesn't, I think this deal's going to drag on.
Fair enough. We need a center back. Hell, we probably need two. And I don't like waiting. We're very top heavy right now. Our attack and midfield, unbelievable. Very bare at the center back position. I mean, I won't bring this up, but I'm going to bring it up anyway, actually. Soboslai playing right back, probably just a preseason thing, right? Not worried about it because, we have Bradley and Frimpong. I'm not concerned, but get a center back, dude. Get two center backs. Stop. I mean, I don't know what the deal is.
They're working on it, dude.
I know they
are.
are.
Links are still there.
They're not stupid. I know, but it's just maybe it's.
We've always been slim at center back, though. The club maybe just doesn't value having a bunch of center backs.
It's kind of important.
If he comes in, what are you going to do? He's just going to ride the bench.
Steve,
you got to get younger guys, I think.
Yeah. Or just get bodies, bro. You sold Kwanzaa and Phillips. There's your depth.
$2.5 million to West Brom. What a legend.
Absolute legend, bro.
It's a profit. That's a profit, probably. We probably got Nat Phillips for €100.
Bro, Nat Phillips after that season, this is my last thing I'll say. Nat Phillips after that season where he played like the whole season at center back, got a raise. Nat Phillips was making $64K a week, guys. $64K a week. That's it.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. That's a lot. That's my point for Nat Phillips. Sleep on that. Go at Mr. Waugh. No, Gomez needs moving on. Absolutely not. Gomez is staying at Liverpool till he scores. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Appreciate all the input. Steve, thank you as always. Slap that like button, guys. And until next time, Reds, take care.